everyone. Welcome back to All Things Real Estate. I'm Terry Lee Joy, your host with Keller Williams Coastal and Lakes and Mountains Realty. Sean Sandville here. He's my co-host from Oak Hill Acquisitions. And today we have Jonathan from Farmers Insurance talking about P&C. And so, Jonathan, tell us a little bit about yourself and what is P&C?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so my name is John. I'm with the Melissa Michaels agency at Farmers Insurance in Merrimack. So P&C insurance is home, auto, and business. But we also sell life insurance, pet insurance, insure your people's toys like ATVs, snowmobiles, and pretty much your travel trailers when it comes to camp and stuff.
Awesome.
Nice.
So just dig into that a little bit. Like, let's start with the homeowners insurance.
Yes.
There's lots of insurance companies out there. What makes Farmers and your agency different?
Yeah, so Farmers offers a solid homeowners insurance plan, so it's called Guaranteed Rebuild.
Okay.
So we kind of beat out the other insurance companies that offer like 15 to 20% inflation cost coverage, just in case if anything happens to your home, like fire or if it floods and it has to be torn down. So with the inflation costs and all the tariffs going on, everything has increased in price.
Yes.
So with the Farmers Insurance homeowners policy, Guaranteed Rebuild, anything ever happens, it gets built back to where it stands in today's market.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that with other places where, you've got a catastrophic loss, a fire, say, and they can't get their entire house rebuilt. Or they rebuild, but it's smaller or to lower quality than what was there.
Yeah, no, and a cool thing that we do too, so we pull the property tax card. We don't just assume what's on it. So in the property tax card, as you know, in real estate, it lists everything on the home. Sheds, decks, patios, pools, fireplaces, because sometimes it, after talking to a customer, it's like, I have a zero clearance fireplace. Oh, I didn't see that in there. So you look at the property tax card, it's listed right there, so you input it. Okay. So you have all the square footage of everything that's attached and detached to the house. So that's another great that's another great thing that we also do too, to make sure your house is completely insured the correct way.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, what if people have things that aren't on the tax card? How do you handle that?
Yep. So I always go into full detail because a lot of the times certain homes on the property tax card, it'll say cedar clapboard, but they've updated it, but the tax card hasn't been updated. So, as a real estate agent, you have to go to the town. That takes a while to get updated. So I always go down the list in full detail. Can you tell me about the age of your roof? Is it metal? Is it asphalt shingle? Is it siding vinyl, aluminum, or any type of wood that's on it? And same thing with the interior. It's like a lot of older homes are plaster. A lot of people have upgraded them, made the investments in the home, so a lot of it's now drywall. So that helps. That helps with the price as well too.
So, quick question: plaster, drywall. A, is there a difference? B, does it matter if somebody goes over the plaster with drywall or takes the plaster down?
That's a great question. Normally, if I just go by what the insured says to me, because I technically can't go inside the house to do the inspection. We have our company hires inspectors that just do a roundabout of the house to make sure everything's intact. Not like no shingles are missing, no vinyl siding's missing. So we have to go on the word of the customer that we're working with. Okay,
but assuming they tell you, does it make a difference on the insurance?
Yeah. So the older the homes, they're going to be more expensive. So the more upgrades you do to it, it brings it where it stands in today's insurance world. So it just gives it more appeal for it to have a better premium when it comes to the policy. And another thing too that a lot of people don't understand, especially with home and auto, your credit goes into it, your claims history goes into it, your motor vehicle record goes into it. So everyone's asking, why is my insurance so high? So we have to educate the customers as well too. So the age of the roof of your home matters because a lot of insurance companies limit it to 20 years, or it will be declined, and you have to go to another. So so at Farmers we have our Agent 360 Farmers platform, then we have the Foremost platform. So if we can't insure it with the Agent 360 Farmers platform, we go to the Foremost, the Farmers Foremost, which is our parent company, to put it in there because they're a little bit more lenient when it comes to things. But roof age and heating system age are a big factor, so it can't be more than I believe heating systems 24 years that we can go up to.
Really?
Yeah, because it can cause fire, which causes you to file a claim, then your premium just goes up a little bit next policy period.
Interesting. Not the house I have now, but my old house, the heating system was 40 years old.
Yep.
still running great. And actually, I kind of wish I had kept it because it ran better than the brand new one that went in. But yeah, I didn't realize that.
Yeah. And like the cool thing about educating customers too, it's just like they don't really know a lot. I'm not trying to say they're uneducated, but they're just looking for insurance. But just give them the overall details. Like age of your roof is a big factor. Your heating system, especially with wiring. If any knob and tubing, insurance companies won't even touch that.
Right.
So as you know, as a real estate agent, that's a tough one.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. So updating wiring and plumbing is really it's that plays a factor in it too. So it just helps with adjusting the premium. So if you have older wiring, say, so my house still has it's upgraded wire, but a lot of it's ungrounded, so we're getting it fixed up. So we had me writing my own insurance policy. I went over with my boss just to make sure everything is intact. So luckily it went through, but we're constantly making upgrades to the house.
Right. Yep. I'm doing the same.
And another good features too, it's like, because where I live in the Dover area, we're on a high water table, so it's always good to have sewer water backup damage as well too, because our basement has flooded. We have a finished basement. We had about 3 inches of water down there, totaled the floor. So we with our claim, we got a French drain system put in. So the French drain collects any water and just shoots it right out with the sub pump. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So the backups.
Yes.
I have farmers as well. And one of the things that I just added was the utility lines.
Yes.
So all the public lines.
Yes.
Can you talk about that? Because that's something a lot of people don't know about.
Yeah, because that gets very expensive too. Because
Yes.
I was talking to a friend, one of my daughter's friends' dads. He's still in a well. In order for him to connect to the to the public water line, I think it's like $24,000 just to connect.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
But having insurance on your blinds protects you from that out of pocket, any type of money out of pocket. So that's another great thing to have insured as well too.
But it doesn't do anything for the connection fees.
That I would have to go more into detail and get more information for you on that.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now you had a situation like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that you could insure. I don't even know if my insurance company offered it, but yeah, I had last year in March, I think it was. I had a sewer backup into a multifamily that I owned, and yeah, I had to replace everything from the house to the street. Thankfully, there was nothing wrong with the tie-in. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that was a $15,000 bill out of nowhere, and I did not know that you could get that stuff insured.
Yes.
I think I don't know do other companies just not offer that, or do they just not educate their customers on the fact that they do offer that insurance?
Yeah, it's like whenever talking with the customer, it's like I go down the full detail just to make sure like everything's aligned, because I always ask them to send me the current declaration page, because a lot of insurance companies, I'm not trying to talk to anything bad, but some of them will, like other structures, the things that are detached, they're not valued. Like a detached garage could be, $24,000 to build.
Over 100.
Okay, I believe that. Okay, I was just told by a recent customer what he paid to get it built, but
wow,
I'll take
I just had one that built a 2-car garage, and it was over $100,000.
Okay,
for them to build that, it's insane.
Yeah. So it's like a lot of you look at the deck page and you see the detached structures, they're undervalued. So It's like trying to get what they paid to have it done. Like sheds aren't cheap anymore.
Right.
And they can range anywhere from $12,000 to $5,000 depending on the style. But it's always good to have speak to the customer, be like, hey, what did you could you give me an estimate of what your garage or your shed is, so we can calculate it to make sure it's covered in the case of something happens to it. So in personal property, I always tell people, if you take the roof off your house, tip it upside down, anything that falls out, that's personal property.
I love that.
So it's beds, furniture, TVs, electronics, those sorts of things. Those can very much add up. So it's like it can range anywhere between like $100,000 to $150,000 of personal property, depending on the person. So I always try to have them give me an estimate. But we also offer that. We also offer broad name perils, which is you can kind of name it out. What you have, or comprehensive perils, personal property, where it gives you a much broader coverage for a little bit add more cost, but it just gives you a much wider range of coverage for your personal property and belongings.
Okay. Can you dig into that just a little bit more?
Yeah. So it's like when it comes to like the broad names, so it's like say if something happens, like he had a fire, it's like, oh man, I had a TV, PlayStation, you had a couple beds and couches, but you don't know how, what they were, what brand they are, that sort of thing. So you just kind of like playing around with the idea of submitting a claim with that information, which is with the broader range of comprehensive perils. It kind of gives you that leisure of like, you don't have to really think about a lot of those things. You can just tell them what you had in the value. So that gives you much broader coverage.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Now, what about some of the riders? Because I know on my policy, I've got a couple of riders. I've got one for the utility lines, but I've also got other riders for particular items, like being in real estate. I have a lot of cameras.
Yep.
And so I've added that on as specific named items.
Yep.
You can do that too, right?
Yeah. So, especially with jewelry, that's another big one too. So, if you have a lot of expensive electronics and jewelry, you have to get it appraised to get the value. So they send, so once you get the appraisal receipt back from whomever you spoke with about it, we can get that, attach it to, add that rider and attach that document to the policy itself.
Okay. What other kinds of riders are there for people?
Flood's huge. It's just it's additional insurance. It does cost a little bit more. It can range anywhere from like $800 to $2,000 depending on where you live, especially on the as you know, in real estate, you're on the lake side.
Yeah.
Any house close to the water, obviously, it's going to need a flood insurance policy. So, luckily, I haven't done too much of them. So I'm kind of, but it's just good to have the knowledge behind it and obviously educating the customer, because the mortgage company is going to need that as well too, for all the for the insurance policy.
Right. And there's other collectibles and things like that people have, and antiques and stuff like that.
Yep.
Cool.
I didn't even know you could insure all this stuff. I'm just thinking about my past insurance experiences and being like, wow, I was very undereducated on all this stuff. Like, I'm like going in there for house insurance and not thinking about that I should probably get stuff to cover all my property, I didn't know they were called riders, but all the things that are attached to it. Yeah, my mind's kind of blown right now because I didn't know you could cover that stuff. And we were speaking a couple of months ago. I think the thing that's most interesting is the total, not total loss, the total repair or replacement of the house.
Yeah,
we were talking about that because I was concerned on one of the multifamilies that I own, where I was looking at the debt that's on the property in terms of like what the mortgage is sitting at. And then I was looking at, I knew what it would roughly cost to replace, and I'm looking at what I'm covered for. I'm like, I could build half a multifamily for that amount of money. Like this makes no sense. Like, what's the point of even having insurance at that point? Besides like just having the mortgage covered,
that's
but
the replacement from that you guys have.
That's so powerful. I mean, I think that would be something that if you could dive a little bit deeper, because I'm curious, and I'm sure a lot of other folks don't realize that, they may have a mortgage, but if the house burns down in its entirety, they're probably not covered for a full rebuild on their house. Right.
And another thing I wanted to add too, it's always good to look into bundling your home and auto. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with an umbrella policy, but it adds an extra protection of liability. You can range it from $1 million to as high as we can get it for you too. So bundling your home and auto is definitely going to help you save money. Adding the umbrella policy just gives you that extra protection because, as you know, in real estate, anything can happen. Everyone knows a lawyer, so things can happen. So the umbrella policy, that extra added liability, protects your assets, your homes, or any type of savings that you have too.
Right. So how do you make sure that, like to Sean's point, how do we make sure? I know you've got the replacement, but how do you actually make sure that he's covered? And what happens to that mortgage? Say it's a complete loss. There's a fire, and everybody thankfully is okay, but the house is a complete loss. He is still responsible for the mortgage, and he's got tenants who are not paying rent anymore. Like, how does all of that work, and getting the property torn down the rest of the way and rebuilt.
Yep. So that goes into the claims process. Whenever a claim does happen, I don't typically handle the claims. We have a claims department that will walk you and guide you through step by step on what to do. They can help you with assisting with the contractor, cleanup, debris removal. So that goes into more of the claims aspect of when it comes to the insurance part.
But if we come in and we say, hey, look, we own a multi, we want to make sure we don't end up underwater if something, God forbid, happens. What's the process you go through to make sure that that we are properly insured? Like, what does your consult look like? I guess that's probably the better way to put it.
Yep.
To walk someone through making sure that they have the right insurance, regardless of what they currently have.
Yeah. So in the cost estimate, we pulled out property tax card. We go through the whole entire house detail, line by line. So we make sure, any type of updates you made that's on there, square footage, the insides and outside of the house. So pretty much everything that's on the property card and everything that we go over on the phone or in person, we make sure everything's on the cost estimator from the cost estimator, then we go over to the liability part. Okay. So with multifamily homes, it's always good to have $1 million in liability when it comes to any type of liability. Like say if someone trips and falls and hurts themselves, it's always good to have that liability. I always tell people on single family homes, stick to $500,000 because you're having a birthday party, someone trips and falls, that sort of thing. You have that that liability there to protect you, you and your house, obviously. But it's just going with the protection part. It's always good to have. So when the cost estimator comes up after you do it, normally it will give us a range of your home. So say if you paid $600,000. So say you paid $600,000 for your home, but the cost estimator comes in at say $420 just to rebuild it. People kind of get confused in that distinction. So it's not the sale of the property; it's what it costs to rebuild the property. So we want to make sure all the T's across, I's are dotted when it comes to insuring your home.
Now, I deal with a lot of older homes. Some of those older homes have stone foundations.
Yes.
If an older house on a stone foundation burns and it has to be completely rebuilt, does that rebuild include a new foundation where it brings them up to a concrete foundation? How does that work?
That's a great question because sometimes I would actually have to get back to you on that one. I never had to deal with the whole foundation part before, but the house will be built back to where it stands in today's market. I would have to get more information on the foundation part for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know I've had past clients that have unfortunately gone through that. And sometimes, particularly the concrete foundation, a lot of times the foundation is still there and you can reuse that foundation.
Right.
Stone, on the other hand, you're 50-50 if it's going to
last.
If it's going to get through it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I need to have a consult with you guys now because I realize I am not covered for a lot of stuff. So in those initial consults, do you guys, because I feel like I've never experienced it before, will you sit there and tell them about maybe some other insurance that they probably should have that they're not aware of? Like you talked about, the riders that we talked about. No, but when I've gone to get insurance a handful of times now on a bunch of different property, nobody's ever talked to me about that before. Their personal belongings, is that something that you guys will bring up to folks so they're just aware? I know you said you do a lot of education.
Yeah, so because you're an investor, so when it comes to your tenants, they would have to get their own renter's policy to protect their own personal items in the event of a loss. But when it comes to you, it's just we're focused on the house, the roof, the heating systems, if the electrical has been updated, same thing with the pipes too. So when it comes to an investor's perspective, it's more focused on the house.
Yeah.
So it's always good to look into different riders, as you mentioned, like sewer water backup. Anything that ever happens, like say if a pipe bursts during the winter, as we're all well aware of, that will with that sort of protection will help with the repairs and get your investment property to where it stands. On the tenant side, I always tell people it's because some people get confused because my landlord has insurance. He has insurance on his house, not on your personal belongings. So there's a kind of a distinction there. So it's I work with a lot of renters as well too. So in the case of an event that if something happens with the renter's insurance, it helps them helps them with this get to another place to live while the property is being restored.
Oh, that's nice. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So real quick, because we've touched on two different things, then I want to make sure that the people that watch this later understand there's a distinction. You've talked about water sewer backups, and we've talked about utility lines.
Right.
Can you talk about the difference between them? Because I believe they're two separate coverages, correct?
Correct.
Explain that.
Yep. So water sewer backup, it goes into like, any type of, obviously flood insurance will cover any type of flood, but any water backup like burst pipes or sewer lines, because where I live, we have a sub pump, and we got the French drain system now, so we don't really have to worry about like any type of water. But it's like, as I mentioned, like in the winter, when it comes to frozen pipes burst, that will be covered. When it comes to utility lines, that would be a different rider that would protect you from any out of pocket expenses when it comes to when it comes to the tie-in, so you're not spending thousands of dollars when it comes to any types of those repairs.
Right. So for, say, a sewer line, the utility line coverage, does that cover me from the house to the street?
Correct.
Okay, so that's different from the backup and the mess that it creates in the house.
Yep. So anything that happens inside the house, burst pipe, or from our experiences, like because we're on a high water table, it just came right in. Our insurance covered with the sewer water backup that way.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, because the one I just added was utility line, because I know the lines are older in my neighborhood, and I also know how expensive that can be.
Oh yeah.
Same.
Because where I grew up in Mass, everything was underground, which was awesome. So we didn't have to worry about a tree falling on a power line and knocking the power out. But where I live now, it's all the hanging power lines tied to the house, and that always kind of freaks me out too.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I had two of mine pulled down last year.
Wow.
One, somebody working, a construction company working in the street, and they hooked it on the top of an excavator. And then the cable company yanked one right off my house. They were doing something else and yanked it off the...
Yeah, so that company would be responsible for that action, yes. Yep.
Yep, interesting. Other questions?
What's the best way for somebody to go about, setting up that consult with you specifically? I mean, I know they can go to Farmers.
Yep.
But for me, I probably definitely need a consult because everything that we've talked about, I know I don't have. So do you work with, because if everybody's like me, then you guys would be getting a lot of phone calls after this. Do you have a team that you work with? I know you had mentioned a group in Merrimack, right?
Yep. So Melissa's the agency owner. Her husband also works there too, and it is me as well. And I think we're going to restart growing pretty soon. We've been doing a lot of networking events. We're part of the chamber as well too. Right. But when it comes to talking to an insurance agent, you can either give us a call. We can do it right over the phone, or I always tell people it's best to come in face to face so we can build that relationship too. Because once you put your trust in us, it's like once you feel the trust between us, you're gonna just kind of sit back, relax, and have that casual conversation talking about insurance too. Because it's just knowing about you, where you live, those sorts of things. Then we can just dive right in. We can turn the laptop around. You can sit next to me, and we can just go over line by line the different things. It's kind of better to do it in person too, because that way they can see it and see what we're talking about, and if they have any questions, that sort of thing. At my previous role, I had a customer come in. He's like, "I have the same cookie cutter house. Why am I paying more for home insurance than?" So he's with he was with another. So I was looking. We're pretty much doing the estimate. So we're kind of looking up. So it's a couple claims on your property. Tree. There's a tree fall, that sort of thing, debris removal. So claims can affect the price of the premium. So a lot of people are kind of touchy on when it comes to price, and this is where the education part comes in. This is my favorite part, because I'm just shopping around for price. I'm like, what's more important to you, protection or price? It's because when it comes to auto insurance, people go in New Hampshire. People really don't need
you don't insurance. Have to have it.
But a lot of people stick with state minimums, like 25, 50,000 per accident per person. It's always, and if you get in an accident nowadays with the cost of cars, medical, and God forbid they hire a lawyer, that's really not going to cover you. So it's like
Right.
kind of like I use the automotive as a prime example because little protection's not going to do anything for you. It's, I always tell people, like, just generally stick to 100, 300, or 250, 500, because that gives you just that more protection. Right. So then you transfer it over to the homeowner's perspective. It's just like, making sure they're covered right and responsibly. So it's just kind of using like the auto insurance to educate them when it comes to their home insurance, because your home is your biggest asset.
Right.
God forbid anything ever happens, that could be gone in a second.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think I love the idea of the face-to-face, and it sounds like you guys really push for that, because I've been with multiple different insurance companies now. Not a single person has asked me if I want to meet in person. Mm-hmm. It's always over the phone. And I'm like, yeah, we could do it over the phone. It's convenient. But like, I don't know what you're looking at. I'm just answering questions. I don't know. And then I get some paperwork after that I don't really quite understand.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been huge, because like if you had the chance to sit down and educate like somebody like myself, when I bought my multifamily, I renovated it top to bottom, ripped it all back to the studs. Everything's brand new in there. Wow. But somebody like yourself could have been like, hey, Sean, have you guys looked at the utility lines from the street? Oh, no, you haven't. We should probably put a rider on that, so if, God forbid, anything happens, you're covered.
Exactly. Yeah. It matters.
It does matter.
And like another great thing you said too, like you renovated from top to bottom, and if I don't know if that insurance agent has took the time to look at like all the property tax code to see if it's been updated, electrical, plumbing, heating systems, roof, windows, that sort of thing. So those definitely have a big factor as well too. So because it's better to be, I hate to say it's being underinsured is like the worst thing possible. Yeah. So just having the knowledge behind it is just a great factor.
It is. I got to stop you there. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll have you come back, but we're at the end of our show today. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you back here next week.